So I knew that Rage Against the Machine was coming to town, and I knew they were looking for a venue for it. So I knew Jason, who's the promoter, and Jason is very creative in trying to solve problems with, where do I do this show? And he was telling me, I got this great place. We're going to do the Rage Against the Machine show in Spanish Fork at the rodeo grounds. They sign the contract, and then the city council finds out, and they find out who Rage Against the Machine is, and they get really upset. They tried to go about any means to try and get this thing canceled. And Jason's like, I got this piece of paper, we're going to have the show here. And just thousands of people descend upon Spanish Fork. People everywhere, and all the people in the houses are freaked out. The band starts, and the whole crowd just goes, and there's dust everywhere. And it was so loud. The fairgrounds is right there in Spanish Fork. At the end of the day, nobody got hurt, and I don't know how much damage there was, but Jason personally had to come back down the next day. He might have been there all night cleaning up every bit of trash that was there, because he had to leave not only the fairgrounds clean, but I think the entire city. He was responsible for the whole thing. And now rumor has it that there has never been a concert at the Spanish Fork Fairgrounds since.
I got into concert promotion because I was in a band, and we couldn't find places to play. I was in high school, and I started setting up some free concerts in Draper Park, and for my band and other bands, just local bands and friends' bands. And then there was a magazine, this little zine from Logan a long time ago called Diesel, and I sent some articles up to this guy, Rob DeBerry, who I got to know, and he was doing shows up at Utah State, and his venue got shut down, and he called me and said, hey, do you want to try to set up some of these shows for some of these bands? So I ended up taking over a couple of shows for like The Offspring and Sunny Day Real Estate and some other bands, and then some other bands, we found some places for them to play in Salt Lake, and I did these shows for them, and then people just kind of started calling, hey, we don't have a place to play, we're looking for these all-age shows, and there was kind of a need. There wasn't really a lot of all-age venues or places to do it. We did shows everywhere. We did shows in the ballroom at the university. Like, we set up this fake student organization so that we could do concerts up there, because you had to be students. They wouldn't rent us the rooms without being students. I had already been kicked out of the U multiple times because I failed racquetball and storytelling and a camping class. Postfontaine was able to continue to grow through history with the bands. Bands grow and develop into much larger acts. And back then, like, it was pretty early when a lot of those punk and hardcore bands were like right on the verge. The first really large show that we did a Rage Against the Machine show down at down in Spanish Fork in like 1996. And then after that, it just became a little bit easier. We had a little bit of cred behind us. It just kind of kept happening organically. As the shows got bigger, it evolved into more of a legitimate company, like where you're paying taxes and you're going through, instead of, printing our own tickets at Kinko's, we're selling, through audited ticketing systems, and it just became a business. We got better at it, and we continued to grow, and it went from a kid doing shows in the park to a business, whether we liked it or not.